Constantine 2. So we're all anxiously awaiting to hear more about this, and apparently we got a little bit more when it comes to the director, Mr. Florence Lawrence, right here. I'm not gonna bring up the it's from the Wrap. It's not Scoopy Pants, but I'm not gonna share the screen. I'm just gonna tell you what he said because he really wants it to be R-rated. He really does want it to be R-rated. It ended up being PG-13. He ended up being PG-13. And one of the reasons why that he would want to make it R-rated is he said right here, he says, one of the biggest things for me about the first one was we followed, per Warner Brothers, the rules to make a PG-13 movie in terms of violence, blood, language, sexuality. But the ratings board gave us a hard R based on their the gray zone of intensity. And my big regret was that we have an R-rated movie that's really PG-13. And if I was going to have to go have an R, I would have really made an R-rated movie. I would have made it much scarier and much more violent, and I would have really made it an R-rated movie. All that changes with the sequel. The idea of this time, at least to me, is to really go at it and make a real R-rated Constantine, which is, I think, what people always wanted originally, not the PG-13 version that just happens to get an R. So he talks about that. I think John Constantine is a funny character in a darkly comic kind of way, and I would want to definitely add more of that sarcastic, cynical sense of humor to the story. So there you go. And yes, I think we all want that too. We all would very much want that too. Hopefully we can get something like that when it comes to Warner Brothers Discovery. Who knows? Maybe everything's kind of just up in the air when it comes to Warner Brothers Discovery and what kind of content they want to put out there. When you hear things, and I've heard things too that didn't sound too great, but we could talk about that later. But it's just I just really hope that they really go just go forward with that. Just go forward with that. I mean, Constantine, the first Constantine movie kind of became like a cult classic, which you never know if something's going to be a cult classic. But, if you have Keanu Reeves back, you have a universe you could dive into and you just hit it hard. If you can have a dark section like this where you can have it like that, I don't know. It's just, it's interesting because, it's such a dark character. It's not kid friendly. John Constantine is not a kid friendly character. Of course, when you incorporate Batman in it, you could try to make it a little kid friendly. You could do it as much as possible. But if you're going to have a Constantine 2 sequel, I say, why not just go full R? Of course, you're going to have to reduce that budget down, big time, because they're not going to be given a big, huge budget for that. But I think they could work with it. I mean, Jesus Christ, Keanu Reeves, he usually gives like 80% of his salary to like charities and stuff like that. So just be like, hey, John, hey, Keanu, we're going to reduce your, you don't have to pay him like $20 million. Some of the salaries are really ridiculous when it comes to this stuff. And I think they can make a really awesome Constantine sequel with, that is R-rated and really shock the fact, be something different and get a lot of eyes, get a lot of butts in the seats. So hopefully it happens.